Okay, so these supposed leaks from this developer, a World of Warcraft developer on 4chan. Okay, so let's just see. Let's just look at some of this and let's say, okay, yes and then BS. Yes or BS, okay? I like that. It's a good ring to it. All right, so let's just start from the tip top here. Okay, so early tonight, a person claiming to be a developer did a Q&A on 4chan. Well, it was on 4chan, and so it's obviously true. Now, I know your immediate thought is that it's nothing, but I found it interesting enough to share here. Some sounds plausible, but some of it is information that has been thought up by the community. Also, for the sake of making a readable thread title, pretend I just put about 50 quote marks around developer in the title. Okay, whatever. Okay, some highlights. Okay, here we go. Yes or BS? Okay, here we go. First one right here. Damn it. Shit. Sorry. Claims that WoW will be implementing something akin to ESO's leveling system. BS. Yeah, chat, please. Chat along. The level cap at 9.0 will be 60 and will be questing to level 70. I beg your pardon? The level cap at 9.0 will be 60 and will be questing to 70? Since we're in 110. BS. Alright, here's the next one. Claims that he's working on a faction merge prototype at the moment and testing how war mode could still leave PvP intact. I have said for a while that a possible faction merge or a third possible faction could happen. So I'm going to leave that one at a maybe. Here, I'm going to back this out a little bit. The next allied races are Volpira and Mechanome, and the ones after that are Lightbound Undead for the Alliance and some sort of boar creature that uses the Worgen rig for the Horde. Okay. Volpira and Mechanome, if in my opinion, they've pretty much been confirmed at this point. Lightbound Undead, yes, I could see that one for the Alliance for sure, especially since in the book Before the Storm, they pretty much confirmed the existence of those. But these boar-like creatures for the Horde that use the Worgen, what boar creatures are they talking about? Like the ones from what are they called? What is that place called? You know the two vanilla dungeons I'm talking about. You know the two I'm talking about. Guys. The Quill Boar. Yes, the Quill Boar. Yes. Razorfin. Yeah, Razorfin Crawling, Razorfin Downs. Yeah, like that's the only boar creatures I can think of. And last I checked, we kind of slaughtered the shit out of them. Just saying. Okay. I missed one. On the faction merge, they're talking about letting people interact with the other faction as long as war mode is off. Orcs and Stormmen and Night Elves and Horde guilds and so on. What? We butchered the Dark Iron, but here they are. Sure enough. Okay, look at this one again, y'all. On the faction merge, they're talking about letting people interact with the other faction as long as war mode is off. Orcs and Stormmen and Night... Again, if it's an old god expansion, like it's pretty much hinting that it's going to be, I really don't think the factions are even going to freaking matter at that point. So, maybe? I could see about that maybe. High elves are dead on arrival. Y'all, they're never gonna do high elves at this point. So whatever. Yeah, whatever. They're never gonna do high elves. Why? Because they have void elves. There's your freaking high elves, guys. No Sethrak. I'm a little disappointed that I'm not getting snake people. I'm a little disappointed, but I will hold out hope. Sylvanas survives the next expansion right now. She's trying to stop Inzoth after he escapes. We'll fight her and reseal Inzoth as the final boss of BFA. Why not? I mean, why not? After Sylvanas... Oh, no. I went too far. Hold on. After Sylvanas leaves to do her thing, Lillian Voss is slated to become the new Forsaken leader Although, if faction stuff is scrapped, then Kalia will be the leader. Whatever faction stuff means. Maybe dissolving the factions gameplay-wise. They may as well at this point. I mean, because, you know, if they're going to do the old god shit, what's the point of the factions, you know? But, I mean, I could see Lily and Voss. I just wish they expanded on her a little more. Yeah, to that point about dissolving the factions, while it's too ingrained with the faction warfare, it'll break the game even more. Yeah, you're probably right. Although I could see them breaking it off into more factions and they're teasing the whole, you know, a lot of people have been keeping their, you know, gift of the old god that they've been doing whatnot. So I wouldn't be surprised if they actually broke it off into, like, say, you know, an old god faction and then not old god faction, you know, or the Forces of Azeroth faction. Like, what if they did that shit just to change up the faction warfare? I think that would be pretty freaking cool. I mean, why the hell not, you know? You know, then you would have actually and see, that way you could actually integrate a legit villain faction with a legit good guy faction. Now, how they would do about the rest of the content, I have no freaking clue. That's just me spouting off bullshit, because this person's spouting off bullshit, so who cares? In 8.3, we defeat Inzoth, but he isn't gone forever. Well, no kidding, he's an old god. Allegedly, 8.3, I thought this was about 9.0. Allegedly, 8.3 was going to include Tyranda's Revenge, since people were dissatisfied with the start of the expansion. It got bumped forward. Oh, okay. Bane and Anduin make peace. Sylvanas loyalists go into hiding. Okay. Sure, why not? The next expansion will deal with the resurgence of the dragons. Rathian finally comes back. Oh, so they'll remember that he's actually a thing, as well as dealing with the forces of death. They learn some sort of aspect of the light has become frenemies with death. Naturally, the Kaldorei are devastated that the goddess worked towards allowed Teldrassil to burn. Holy shit. Yeah, right. Said that Swamdi's boss is a she. No name yet. Hell yeah. Okay, whatever. Something about an orb we're getting as the new artifact. Oh my god. This is the thing I hate about WoW and the trap that they're in. If this is true, which I sincerely doubt it is. But I hate the trap that WoW is in with having to replace their shit. Like, I mean, I know with every new MMO you gotta replace something, but it's like they started this because it's like they had the talent system from vanilla BC Wrath, and then they had it, and then they condensed it in Cataclysm to cookie cutter builds. Even though vanilla Wrath and BC had cookie cutter builds, you still had some leeway you could go with shit. But hold on, don't get ahead of me. Don't get ahead of me. Hold on. And then in Miss Pandaria, they changed that talent system with other stuff hidden, side talents to compensate for talents that were lost. And then in Warlords of Draenor, they did it again. And then in Legion, you had the artifact weapons that also featured, you know, talents and abilities and shit like that, along with the artifact that compensated for the lost talents from the lost talent trees. And now they've done it again with freaking the artifact, or the Azerite stuff to compensate for abilities and talents that were lost. So it's like with every expansion, they're having to compensate not just for vanilla BC Wrath's talent system being lost, they have to do it with Cataclysms being lost, then they have to do it with Miss Pandaria and Warlords of Draenor's being lost, then they have to do it with Legions being lost, and in the upcoming one, they have to compensate for BFA's one being lost as well, because they're just going to replace that one too. So it's like they keep stacking the stack of stuff that they're having to compensate for and replace with the stuff that they had before is just getting bigger and bigger instead of just big building on top of what they freaking had. AKA, Fnatic just put it plainly, they're running out of ideas. I completely agree. New classes tinker with prestige classes along with it. That's awesome. Prestige classes being class skins you would have to unlock with Necromancer, Dragonsworn, and Dark Shaman in progress at the moment. I will freaking believe that when I see that. I've been wanting this class for so freaking long. Yeah, right. I'll believe that when I see it. Dragonsword or Druid skin. We gave the example that Flame and Frost replace lunar cycles. Okay. Sure, why not? Prestige classes are a separate class, so if you played a Druid and unlocked Dragonsword, you would then have to make a new character around it and slap a skin on your Druid. Well, that's weird. Okay, sure. Tinker start at level 50. Why? Okay, that's weird. Well, I'm sorry. If they're condensing the levels to 60, then I guess it makes sense. I mean, they did mention something. Now that I think about it, I think Vale, you said something about this a second ago. They did say they were asking like the players or some shit like that. Like, what would you do if there was like a level squish? And so I'm like, me personally, I'm like, yeah, they're new level condensing, or I'm sorry, they're level squishing, which, you know, they're trying to act like this would make a difference, and it won't. It freaking won't. It absolutely won't. Absolutely not. It won't make a bit of difference, because there's the deal. You can squish the levels all you want, but if the experience is dull and boring and crap, who cares if you squish levels? That's the main problem with BFA. The leveling and the world exploration and everything else that you've thrown in there is just dull and boring and lifeless. That's the main freaking problem. The raids are lifeless. The dungeons are all about speed runs now. The world is laughable. I mean, it's laughable. The story is definitely laughable. But, yeah, who cares if they level squish? It won't make a bit of difference. Unless they mean by a level squish, creating a brand new WoW and a new engine, then I'll sure, yeah, well, yeah. I've said for years now, at this point, move on from this WoW, make a WoW 2 with a new engine and everything, and just start the heck over. Absolutely. Absolutely. They've been needing to do that for a minute, you know? Player housing and forever in development hell. I actually believe that one. Anyway, those are the most salient parts. There are bits and bobs and screencasts below, so take a look. And I swear to God, if someone else made a thread of it as I was typing this up, okay, sure, why not? Okay, it's, okay. Okay. I guess boar people are cool boar. I don't know. I know what cool boar are. I don't think so. I know what cool boar are. Well, what other boar people are there, man? What other? But garrisons, KB. Screw garrisons. Screw garrisons, man. All right. Anyway, I think I've seen enough of this. I think it's just, okay, this person, most is probably just guessing based on likely outcomes. I think so too. I think a lot of this is guessing. I think, but I think more than at least half of this is BS. I think at least half of this is BS for sure. Some of it, like I said, probably very lucky guessing, or stuff that the fans have been saying for years. Like, for example, I've been saying, me and many others have been saying necromancers for years. You know, Inzoth coming, whatever. We knew that was coming. You know, we pretty much guessed, by Mist Pandaria, when we realized high elves weren't happening, or that we were fighting high elves, we pretty much realized at that point, okay, yeah, high elves aren't happening, for sure. Plus, you know, I mean, it's pretty much a dead giveaway about the Lightbound Undead and stuff like that, so a lot of this is just stuff that's been said before. So, no, do I think these leaks are legit? Man, whatever. BS, man. Complete BS. And if I'm wrong, I'll eat my bandana. Whatever. I'll eat my freaking bandana if I'm wrong.